Hello and welcome to Chabot News for March 5th, 2026. My name is Chris Dorr and today we're covering what's going on in Iran, tariffs spiking, and the State of the Union. In entertainment news, Amalak Singh will tell you about the Warner Bros. Deal. And Lamont Lujan will present his top 5. All that and more coming up in today's edition of Chabot News. If you think puppets are just for kids, the Chabot College Theater Arts Department will prove you wrong. This month, they bring a great musical experience to campus. Avenue Q follows the story of a recent college graduate named Princeton. He arrives on Avenue Q, a less glamorous part of New York City, and learns life lessons with his quirky neighbors, humans and puppets, as they all try to figure out adulthood. Avenue Q will run from March 18th to March 29th at Stage 1 in Chabot College. Get your tickets now at chabotcollege.edu/theaterarts. Prices range from $10 to $25. Don't miss out on this amazing musical. In Alabama, a special black kitten is looking for a forever home. He was born with a rare genetic mutation that left him with an extra set of ears. Lisa Crane introduces us to Dobby, who is perfectly imperfect.
Everyone thinks their pet is pretty special.
He is a special cat.
But Dobby, a 7-month-old black cat, is 1 in a million with a rare genetic mutation that'll make you smile from ear to ear.
He is unique with his extra ears.
Stephanie Brown is fostering this irresistible kitty who also has a short curled tail caused by his condition and a severe underbite that's going to require surgery. But once he heals from that, he'll be adopted. Brown says she'll be sad to see him go, but knows some family will be lucky to have him.
I hope he gets a home with a kid. He loves children, and again, that's something that's a bit more unusual for cats. He really has responded so positively. He's more comfortable with my daughter than adults, and so I hope he gets a kid.
Brown has a soft spot for unique cats like her own pet, Phoebe. She has cerebellar hypoplasia, a neurological disorder.
I think the differences are completely beautiful. I think it's a matter of embracing all of those differences and understanding, just like people, every creature, every animal is going to have their own unique personality, presentation, conditions, appearance, everything like that.
Now, Dobby is so special, there is a list of people ready to adopt him when he is ready to go. So they've actually closed the applications on him. But the good news is there are hundreds more cats at Kitty Cat Haven and other animal rescues right here in Central Alabama waiting for good homes. They may not have 4 ears, but they are all special in their own way. In Pelham, Lisa Crane, WVTM 13.
Thank you for that report, Lisa. The rescue Stephanie Brown is fostering Dobby from is working to raise money for his surgery, which is expected to cost about $3,000. Learning how to pick crabs is part of life for many Marylanders. And at 87 years old, a woman who goes by Hurricane Hazel can pick them faster than most people can eat them. Megan Knight has the story.
The new number is Hazel Cropper. Hurricane Hazel.
They come from far and wide to the small town of Crisfield to meet the master of crab picking. 87-year-old Hazel Cropper, aka Hurricane Hazel, is a legend when it comes to cleaning out a blue crab. But don't give her the credit for this specialized skill.
I thank God. He's the one supplying me. I don't take credit for myself. I thank God that I learned.
She suffered a small stroke last summer, but it's had no effect on her ability to pick a crab, which she learned at the age of 9 from her grandmother.
When I first started as a young child, they had a soda crate and the crayfish in my chair that I was sat on, and that gave me the height of the grown pickers.
It quickly became second nature.
Do all the talking and laughing and cutting up and still picking. Don't even have to look at what I'm doing.
If there are any questions as to how good she is, just look at her resume. 16-time world champion crab picker, Guinness World Record holder. Miss Hazel picked over 5.5 pounds of crab meat in just 20 minutes.
And everybody has tried to beat me. No shame in my game. Because this is something that I love.
And she loves to share her gift with whomever is willing to learn, from kids to the governor of Maryland.
I love doing it because I love teaching. It's a joyful thing to be able to carry a legacy and be proud of what you're doing.
Thanks for that report, Megan. Hazel doesn't compete anymore, but she does plan to hold more crab picking demonstrations this summer. Let's see what Amalak has for us in entertainment news.
Thanks, Chris. Paramount Skydance is upping its offer to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, CNN's parent company. Brian Stelter has more from New York.
Paramount has raised its bid, but we don't know by how much. Paramount had been offering $30 per share for all of WBD, including CNN, but WBD has been rejecting that offer and siding with the Netflix offer instead. As viewers probably know, Netflix is trying to buy Warner Brothers and HBO, basically the entertainment assets from WBD, but not trying to buy CNN or a suite of cable channels. So that process is moving forward. WBD breaking itself into two pieces, Warner Brothers and HBO going off to one side and ready for Netflix to take over, and then the cable channels like CNN going off to the other side. That's all supposed to happen this summer, but Paramount continues to make a play for the entire company. And we know the new offer is somewhere north of $30 per share, probably $31 or $32 a share, although just double checking my phone, Paramount has not yet commented on what the offer is. Now, most importantly, Netflix is probably going to come in and match that price in the next day or two. There's now a 4-day window for Netflix to match the price. So the drama will continue surely into March because that is when a shareholder vote is scheduled. Ultimately, WBD is trying to figure out exactly how many billions these assets are worth. Paramount has indicated it's willing to pay more, but now we actually might be about to find out how much Paramount's willing to pay. And then it becomes a question about whether these companies can get it across the regulatory finish line, not just in the U.S., but also in Europe and in other markets. One of the big arguments involving these deals is about whether regulators will approve any of these deals. Netflix has exuded confidence, saying it believes it will prevail. But just the other day, President Trump attacked Netflix because of board member Susan Rice, who is an Obama and Biden veteran. He said Netflix must fire Susan Rice or, quote, pay the consequences, a direct threat that he might try to use the government's regulatory apparatus against Netflix. So a lot of question marks about that as Paramount continues to make this play for all of WBD.
Thanks, Brian, for the report. The Oscars had its famous slap, and now BAFTA's has its racist slur. But it's not what you may think. A man in the audience of the BAFTA Awards in London shouted the N-word Sunday night. It was directed at black actors Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, who were presenting an award. The disruption came from John Davidson. He suffers from Tourette syndrome and was at the ceremony because he was the subject of the film I Swear. Robert Aramayo won a Best Actor award later in the evening for his portrayal of Davidson. The audience had been warned that involuntary swearing might occur during the ceremony. The BBC aired the incident without censoring it. That's it for entertainment. Now back to you, Chris.
Thanks for that report, Amalak. A lot has changed since President Donald Trump addressed Congress a year ago. But in one area, at least, his State of the Union address Tuesday evening seems likely to resemble his last visit to the House chamber. It was long, clocking in at 1 hour 47 minutes. The president made several new policy announcements and touted accomplishments while praising invited guests and lambasting Democrats. In response, Virginia's governor delivered a firm rebuttal and made the argument for Democrats as her party seeks to gain control of Capitol Hill in this year's midterm elections. Ivan Rodriguez is in Washington with the latest.
In the longest State of the Union address since at least 1964,
the state of our union is strong.
An energetic and defiant President Donald Trump declared what he calls a new age of American prosperity.
We have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before.
In the wide-ranging speech, Trump boasted his administration's economic achievements and cost savings initiatives, like reducing inflation, lowering some prescription drug prices, and cutting taxes.
Our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
Trump also defended key pillars of his agenda that have been subject to controversy, including his global tariff initiative struck down by the Supreme Court last week and his administration's immigration crackdown.
We now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
The president also addressed issues like healthcare, voter ID, and Iran.
I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon.
But along with policy objectives and first-year wins, Trump took aim at perceived political enemies and Democrats.
Democrats are destroying our country.
And the Democratic response, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, struck a different tone.
Is the president working for you?
Laying out her party's argument against the administration and for Democratic policies.
No, you can demand more. And that we are working to lower costs. We are working to keep our communities and our country safe, and we are working for you.
In Washington, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Thank you for that balanced report, Ivan. While President Trump promised a lot with the State of the Union, as James Carville most famously stated, it's the economy, stupid, and the Trump administration has yet to bring affordability to the public. President Donald Trump warns more U.S. service members may die during the U.S. military operation against Iran. 3 U.S. service members lost their lives Sunday morning. That's according to a U.S. Central Command announcement on social media. Sources say the service members died in a suspected drone strike in Kuwait. 5 more service members were seriously wounded. The president told the New York Times his administration expects, quote, quite a bit higher casualties than the 3 service members killed in action so far. He told the Times the Pentagon projects many more Americans are likely to die in the operation. We had our own reporter, Enrique Peña Ponce, go out and ask people on the Chabot campus what they thought about U.S. actions in Iran.
How do you feel about what's going on in Iran right now?
Yeah, it's after hearing the first words of it, the words that pop up in my head is how heartbreaking it is. But, it may impact us here as well. A surge in gas prices is something we don't want to think about, especially when we come from lower income families.
What are your thoughts on what's going on in Iran at the moment?
Well, the thoughts of what's going on in Iran, I don't like it. I don't think it's fair because I believe the things that's going on over there, if it would happen here, we would call it war. So I don't think someone should go to another person's country and kill their president, because if somebody came here and did the same thing to us, we would definitely go to war with them.
My current thoughts on the war, I definitely think that it's unjust, and my thoughts on it's very, why are we doing this, or what's the point? We have so many problems that's happening here in America that we should not be focusing on other countries.
Thanks for that report, Enrique. It looks like people on campus have various concerns about the administration's actions. Retailers across the country are monitoring a shift in trade policy. As Yasmin Ludi reports, one San Diego beauty supply store owner says his business is struggling as prices remain high.
I get all my hair care products from the beauty supply store, from shampoo to hairspray, literally everything. But after months of dealing with tariffs, some of my favorite products cost a lot more. And the owners here at Berlin's Beauty Supply say it's costing them more just to keep the shelves stocked. The ring when customers walk in and the small beep when items are scanned are the sounds of money pouring in. But for Berlin's Beauty Supply, that pour is more like a trickle.
We found that over the last month and a half, 2 months, all of our vendors are raising their prices approximately 20%.
That was in July 2025 when I first met the owner, Bill Woods. Fast forward 6 months later, he tells me not much has changed.
The warehouses that sell us the products, they inflated their prices based on they thought 20 or 30% tariffs were coming.
While the tariffs on all imported goods dropped to 10%, Bill says vendors haven't followed suit.
We're still paying a premium price for the same product.
He says they've seen a cost increase for popular hair care brands and braiding hair.
It used to be $2.99, right? Now Some of them are up to $5.99 a packet.
Bill says they had plans of expanding their business, but due to higher costs and slow traffic,
We can't really afford to do the expansion and bring on more product.
and as time goes on and business hasn't improved, he's debated a difficult decision
We've actually considered making an exit plan to close our doors.
before he makes a choice. He's hoping for a more stable economy this year.
It's better for all of us, for people to be able to afford the things they need. Most of the things we sell in here are things that people need on a daily basis.
Yasmin Ludi, ABC 10 News.
Thank you for that report, Ludi. Even if the Supreme Court has struck down President Trump's initial tariffs, small businesses in California are struggling to stay open. President Trump has enacted similar tariffs under a different authorization, showing little hope for these small businesses. How many times have you had a problem and said, someone should invent something to fix this? Well, after shopping at Costco last year, a California man had that very thought, and he came up with a solution. Kim Stevens reports how that man's life has now changed.
Today, I still have no idea how big this actually is, but I just see like a lot of people I need to respond to.
Julian Cotillian's a pastry chef, and he was in high demand recently over Valentine's Day. His cakes, brownies, cookies, tiramisu, chocolate-covered strawberries. They were all big sellers at this Oakland taco truck where he and his partner Jeanette sell their sweets. That rush was nothing compared to his side gig, the $1.50. What is it? Cotillian's answer to easily eating his Costco hot dog while shopping and not making a mess.
Our drink would always spill.
And because Cotillian's an idea guy,
Since I was a kid, I've always had like a gear that always moved in my head and that wanted to know how things work.
he drew the design, then learned how to use a 3D printer, and voila.
They're not all perfect. So, you know, they all have their little bit of differences and imperfections. So this is the first iteration. The second one, I went to white. It did look better.
But it was too long.
This is the final version. Right, the $1.50 logo itself, much cleaner. And I don't have to color it in with a little paint marker. Has a bigger lip, so your hot dog won't fall off of it. And the cup is the same design. And it holds much better, I think, than the first two.
And since he went online with it,
his family kept like, dude, you're at 2 million. Dude, you're at 5 million. It's like, it went bonkers.
And he simply cannot keep up with demand.
I think right now I'm sitting at maybe 3 months to catch up to current orders.
And when he does, he'll start on his next big idea.
It is going to be a limited edition. And I do plan on releasing this after the craze, after I can catch up.
Julian says he has 3D printers running even while he sleeps. And here we have Lamont's top 5. Take it away.
This top 5 was recommended by the one and only Lala D. Today we have top 5 celebrities I'd smash. Respectfully, of course. At number 5, we have Coco Jones. When I first heard her name, I thought she was an adult film star. But Coco is anything but that, with her amazing singing voice and gorgeous looks. At number 4, we have Megan Fox. My love for Megan Fox began back when the Michael Bay Transformers movies were released, and the only thing I can remember from those movies, aside from the great CGI at the time, is Megan Fox posing on a Corvette. Maybe that's why Corvettes are one of my dream cars. At number 3, AJ Lee. This woman has a group of men, myself included, in a chokehold during her time in the WWE back in the 2010s. At number 2, we have Tracy Cortez, a professional MMA fighter in the UFC. Not only can she knock me unconscious, but she can also bring me back to life. And finally, at number 1, we have Nia Long. This woman has been fine as hell ever since she first appeared in Friday, and she only looks better with age. And that's it for my top 5. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Lamont, for that top 5. In Florida, frigid temperatures are ruining crops and resulting in billions in losses for farmers. Edward Franco spoke to some of those impacted.
I've been here for 18 years, and that's the hardest winter.
Felix Hernandez is the field manager at Blueberry Bunch Farm. He is bracing for another cold blast.
The temperature drop, I have to be here running and doing everything. Everything is ready to run. 2,000 gallons per minute.
Hernandez showed me their water pump that is used to irrigate and spray water on the plants when it gets too cold. That water freezes over the plants to help most berries alive. You can see the last time they were frozen just a few weeks ago, but not all the plants survive as the cold wind does the most damage.
We lose more than 4,000 plants was killed by the weather.
Hernandez also tells me they lost around 30,000 pounds of blueberries. Florida's recent cold snaps have caused over $3 billion in estimated losses to Florida agriculture.
It's not going to be good. It's not good. This is twice that's happened. It's hard for us to even get supplies here quickly because this is something we don't expect.
At Southwest Florida Produce in Punta Gorda, the effects from the last frost are also still taking a toll.
Through to our last frost, a lot of them blew like far. We had to go far to pick up all of the sheets and the plastic, and then they all got destroyed from the wind. So we can't even get any more plastic in for tonight.
Farmers say they hope this is the last cold snap of the year. That's all for Chabot News this week. Thanks to all the students and staff in the Mass Communications Department here at Chabot College for making this production possible. You can watch us anytime online at youtube.com/ChabotTV. Stay tuned to KCTH Channel 27 on Comcast for more Chabot TV.